Well, hello and welcome back to part two of our four-part series, The Millionaire Mindset, attracting everything you want in life. Today, we're going to talk about a very popular subject, whether good or bad. It's a popular subject, money. We're going to talk about money myths. And last week in part one, we talked about waking up your greatness. And of course, we ended talking a little bit about money myths. And I promised you we're going to go through 6 of the big ones today. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hop into it. Again, we get a little bit more controversy in this one lesson than probably any of the others that I do. But I continually stress the fact at A to B for me that the S's in success are not dollar signs necessarily, although money is very, very important in a lot of ways for us to reach our potential, reach our destiny, to help other people reach their destiny. So that's what we're going to talk about today, are the 6 big money myths. So let me get out of the way here. I'm going to make the screen big for you. And here we go. Let's hop in here and we're going to talk about money myths. Okay, well, what's the first one? You can probably guess what the first one is. Money myth number 1, money is evil. Oh my goodness, we've heard it. And what is that verse we always get that we told? The money is the root of all evil? No, that is not the scriptural verse. Let's go to 1 Timothy 6:10. Where it says, the love of money is the root of all evil. And it goes on, and I really, really suggest, this is not a Bible study today, but I do suggest on this particular myth that you read the entirety of 1 Timothy 6 so that you really, really know where this is coming from. Because I've heard so many people, I don't know where they get this, well, they probably don't read the Bible, but they just say, oh, money's the root of all evil. Well, no, it isn't. It is the love of money. So maybe your parents reinforced this myth when you were growing up. I don't know. I've heard it off and on. I don't know if my parents really reinforced it, but I know in the world today, even it seems like the rich and the wealthy are damned. These and I don't understand that. A lot of good things happen. Of course, we'll talk about that going as we go through here, but. These folks that didn't want to accumulate too much money because they were afraid that it would result in evil. So the folks that were really putting us out here, were first of all again misquoting the Bible, and secondly, they believed it. And then they were afraid to accumulate too much money because they thought that it would turn them evil. So that is really, really just a huge myth, because if you've unconsciously adopted this belief, you don't want to accumulate too much money because you're afraid of what it's going to do to you. And when you crumple up this dollar bill, all of a sudden what pops up there is the root of all evil. It's in the dollar bill there, and you go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Now you can spend all day trying to crumple up your dollar bill to get it to say that. But you believe that somehow money will turn you evil, or you believe that money itself is evil. But is it really true? Is money actually evil? All right. Well, I know some of you are already squirming in your seat a little bit, but the answer is no, obviously. Now take a minute and think about what money actually is. Money is simply printed paper. That's all it is. And of course, nowadays, I mean, what's it really worth? I don't know. Or it's a chunk of metal, like a gold bar. It's a standard that we have, or digital currency, or digital numbers in your bank. And these are numbers that they go up and down. So is that paper or metal inherently evil? Well, no, it's not. So money is not the problem. Money itself is neutral. It's not good. It's not bad. Think about it this way. When you put a $20 bill in your pocket, does that make you a worse person? Of course not. In fact, it probably makes you feel a little bit better, if you'll be honest with yourself. Now, what if you put a $100 bill in your wallet? Well, you're still not a bad person. That's because money itself is not evil. It's morally neutral. And adding more money to your bank account doesn't mean that you're somehow adding something bad to your life. You're simply adding more numbers to your account. So here's the key point. It's what you do with money, not money itself, that is good and or bad. You can do great good with money. You can give it to people in need. You can buy something for yourself that you really want. Or you can start a charity. Or you can help a friend start a business or whatever they need, right? And of course, you can also do bad things with money. And this is where it gets the bad rap. And I tell you, in society, we always, nowadays especially, tend to harp on the little bad things and make it such a big percentage when it's really not a huge percentage. But you get the point. It's the actions you take, not money itself, that is evil. So let's put this myth to bed. Money is neutral. It is not evil. And I know you sit back and look at this stuff, but again, in society today, we take one little bitty thing that may have happened or one person that's bad with something, and we make it a blanket statement. And blanket statements are just horrible to begin with. So let's go ahead and knock blanket statements out while we're talking about money is neutral, not evil. All right, well, let's go on to myth number 2. People who want money are greedy. And of course, there's gals saying, who, me? I'm not greedy. Well, many of us carry around the assumption that only people who are greedy want more money. We assume that if we want money, we'll become like Ebenezer Scrooge, always hoarding money and never giving it away. But is this true? Well, no. Again, money is a neutral thing. It's what you do with money that truly matters. So yes, you can be greedy and get into that love of money thing and simply want to accumulate as much as possible. And there are a lot of folks like that, obviously, out there in the world. But having more money also allows you to be extremely generous. And it allows you to give good things to others. It allows you to donate to charity. You simply can't do those things if you don't have money. Now, how do you think all the charitable functions out there and all the charitable things that we have out here, all the organizations, how were they developed? They weren't developed by folks who didn't have wealth. They were developed by people that do, and they continue to succeed and thrive for people that have money. So giving is a huge part of it. And did you catch that? You can't be generous if you don't have money. Now you can be generous with your time, and I'm not discounting the other things in success here. Okay, you can definitely be generous with your time, but these foundations and these charitable things are run honestly by money. We need your time, but you can't be generous if you don't have money to put behind these programs. So think about it for a minute. If you want to be financially generous, you have to have some finances in the first place, right? You got to have a pile of money for it to float off, or nothing's going to come out of your hand. So it's time to kill this myth. Wanting more money does not make you greedy. Okay. Now, for some people, again, there's always two sides of the coin. We're talking about money, might as well talk about two sides of a coin. And there are those that do. But simply the fact of wanting more money, that doesn't make you a greedy person, because you can certainly do great things with it. Myth number 3, there is not enough money. Now, you can finish this quote, in the world, right? We've heard that all around. Oh, there's not enough money in the world. Well, okay, well, let's look at it. Now, if you grew up in a house where finances were regularly tight, then you may harbor the belief that there's just not enough money, right? I mean, there's a lot of folks that are saying, hey, I got more month than I got money, right? Well, that's just overspending, folks. And every time you work on your calculator, it comes up not enough, right? But you believe that the reason you don't have enough money is because there simply isn't enough money to go around. But let's step back a minute and evaluate this belief. Now, how much money is in the world? Well, there's trillions and trillions of dollars in the world. And I'm not going to give you an exact figure because it goes up and down all the time. But there's more than enough money for everyone. There is not a scarcity of money. In fact, there's an actual abundance of money in the world. And just because you don't have all the money that you want doesn't mean that there's not enough money. You have to just consider going back to the law of attraction. Of course, we talk about that a lot here today, to be for me. We're going to continue to talk about it. But you need to know that whatever you want, it's out there. You just need to attract it to yourself. Now, there's a difference between scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. And if you're with me on my weekly challenge, you know the last 2 weeks in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, we've been in Habit 4 Win-Win, and we've been talking about scarcity and abundance. So we're going to continue that a little bit today, because with the scarcity mindset, you believe that there is never enough, and regardless of what it is, there's just never enough. And you feel like you have to hold on to everything that you have, because you never know when it will be gone. Okay, and this has happened a lot in my generation, because the previous generation to me went through the the Great Depression. Of course, I always hear Obama saying, "Oh, this is the best thing since the last Great Depression," right? Well, we always have depressions. That's just history, right? But when we had the great one, then my parents really were frugal. They knew that they could lose everything that they could have, because they saw it firsthand. So they hold on to everything you have, because you never know when it will be gone. Now, with an abundance mindset, you believe that there's more than enough for everyone. And when you get money, it doesn't mean that someone else is not getting money. And that is a big problem with folks, because they feel guilty. Well, if I get this, then I'm taking away from someone else. No, if they want it, they can go get it too. I'm telling you, there is plenty out there. And I've always been amazed that people say, "Oh, well, I don't know why all the bad people get all the money." Well, because they're going after it. I mean, that's the bottom line. But you have to decide: are you going to have a scarcity mindset, or are you going to have an abundance mindset? And A to B for me, we're going to be talking about abundance. So get on board. Let's get away from the never enough. Let's get away of holding on to everything. I know we used to talk about people rubbing a penny until you couldn't even see the face on it. But with an abundance mindset, we just want you to believe that there and understand that there is more than enough, and that you're not taking it away from anyone else, because it really is just like that tree. Half of you are like, it's dead, and half of you are like, what are you talking about? It's beautiful, it's green, it's growing. So let's get on the right side of that tree. So as you see, money is not a zero-sum game. In other words, you receiving money does not mean that someone else is losing money. That's just not how it works. There's more than enough money in the world for everyone to have as much as they want. So let's kill this myth. There's plenty for everyone. We live in a world of abundance. Now you say, well, wait a minute, I don't understand that. Well, the problem is you're always going to have people that have a scarcity mindset. So you're not really taking it away from them. They're not going after it in the first place. So get out there and roll with it. Let's kill this myth. There's plenty for everyone if they want to go out and get it. And again, what happens is the ones who go out and get it end up giving it to the ones that don't anyway. So it all kind of balances out. But we live in a world of abundance. And let's get that straight going forward here. All right, myth number 4, I'll never make enough money. And again, we kind of get back, this almost gets to the scarcity side too, where your mind just believes you're never going to make enough. Well, I love the quote by Henry Ford. I use it in many different instances, and we're going to use it right here too. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. It's just all about the mind. If you believe that you'll never make enough money, then you certainly will never make enough money. That's just it. You think you can, you're right. If you think you're wrong, you're right? But why do you have that belief in the first place? If there's more than enough money in the world for everyone, why should you believe that you'll never make enough? Well, the bottom line is you're an incredibly talented person. You have so much to offer the world, and it's critical that you believe that. So you got to show your talent. What is it? There's so many different things that you were given, the talents and the gifts, from God. And you get out there and flaunt these things for yourself, because your skills, your talents, and your expertise are worth money. And there are lots of people out there who are willing to pay for those skills. But in order for this to be your reality, you have to believe it first. So you have to believe in yourself, believe in your talents, believe in your self-worth, and get out there and make it happen for yourself. Because the bottom line is, like I said in the first sentence here, you're incredibly talented and you have so much to offer. So let's get out there and make it happen. You have to stop buying into the lie that you'll never make enough money and start affirming that you're going to make more than you could imagine. And we have some affirmations starting today in this program because you need to understand it, and you need to be saying with your morning cup of coffee, I am the success story. And that's really what the affirmations are all about, the I ams. Because you may not know exactly how you're going to make the money, but that's okay. That's part of the plan. But you've got to get the subconscious on board first, and you've got to get the affirmations in there, and you've got to believe every single day that I am the success story. So we'll have some affirmations for you today. Now, we want to talk about new mindset equals new results, right? Because the mindset is the key. You got this circle of performance and attitude and behavior and action and results. And where does it really start? Well, it starts with mindset. And mindset's going to change that attitude. And then the attitude is going to change your behavior. And then your behavior is going to change your action and get you solutions and get you results. And then that's going to improve your performance, of course, with hard work included there, and it's just a nice circle. So it's just like the A to B for me strategy: thoughts, action, habits, character, destiny. But you have to master your mindset, and that means having the unshakable belief that you're going to increase your income. Now let's kick this myth to the curb. You can and will make more than enough money if you're willing to believe it first. Remember, what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So let's get into this new mindset and let's get us some new results. Number 5, if I make more money, people won't like me anymore. Well, okay. You want to believe that? Well, it's a common myth. Many people believe it, and especially if their parents didn't like people who had money. You know that we talk about this all the time. A lot of our issues, really, good, bad, or indifferent from our parents, they were probably just doing the best they could. But they had these attitudes and these beliefs, and these things were ingrained in you. And so a lot of these things you have to kind of replay the tape and get the thing changed a little bit. But the reality is, we don't dislike people who make money. We dislike people who flaunt money and who flaunt it in an arrogant way. Now, today, ironically, that may not necessarily be true, because there's so many things out there on social media that people are really liking these people who flaunt and put this and just throw their money in your face in all this arrogant way. And I've got a few names in my mind right now. I'm not going to put any out there, but again, this all goes back to how you use your money. And I love the old quote by Socrates. And we go back and people are like, man, everybody comes up with this new stuff. Well, it's not really new stuff. It's been around forever. Socrates said, if a man is proud of his wealth, he should not be praised until it is known how he employs it. So again, it's not the fact that we dislike people who make money. We just dislike people who flaunt it, because we're praising them until it's known how they employ it. When they employ it in a bad way, then we should be looking at them with some disdain. Now again, some celebrities today, we really get out there and kind of buy their stuff after they've done it. It's kind of interesting. But again, it all goes back to how you use your money. If you make more money and you start bragging to your friends about how awesome you are, then sure, they may not like you anymore. The bottom line, you've changed. You let money change you. You didn't change the money into good. You let the money change you into bad. But if you use your increased income to help others, people will actually like you more, and certainly they won't begrudge you spending some for yourself. So, I mean, if you're out there helping, they're not going to mind that you're doing some things for yourself. And I call this net worthwhile. So, if you're going to have net worth, you might as well make it worthwhile. So let's keep that phrase in mind, net worthwhile, when you're looking at this, because that's really, that's the purpose of money, is to do good in this world. And so this myth of people aren't going to like me needs to go away. So as long as you don't flaunt your wealth in an annoying, arrogant way, you're going to be just fine. In fact, people will probably appreciate you more as you accumulate wealth. So look at this as wealth well done. You want to master your mind. You can compound your cash and pursue your purpose. Because if you got the cash, there's a lot of good things you can do. And I hope that in your destiny, part of your destiny plan, is to help others and to help this world, be a better place. So wealth well done is what we're talking about here. All right, myth number 6: I'm just fine without money. Yeah, look at that face, right? I don't know if I really believe that. There's folks, you're saying you're drowning, you're like, I'm fine. Well, you've been underwater so long, it's amazing you can still breathe, but you believe in I'm fine, right? Well, if you struggle for a long time to achieve financial stability, and I know for some of you, you have, and in some of you, it's a roller coaster. We have peaks and valleys where we're doing great, and then all of a sudden we're doing bad because we went out there and we've risked and we've made things happen. Then you may have convinced yourself that you're just fine without having money, because the subconscious is like, dude, man, again, you're out here making it happen. You're just putting stress on yourself, and you're going to be disappointed. So let's don't even go there anymore. And the subconscious is there to protect you. It knows what happens when things go awry, how you may act, things that could happen. So it tries to protect you. But you've got to get your conscious mind on board. The excitement has to stay there, and you have to get out of this trap of being convinced that you're just fine without having money. Just hang in there, keep it rolling. Because the bottom line is I'm fine. Is that really true? Are you really fine? Are you really living your absolute best life? Are you the best version of yourself that you can be? Are you able to live fearlessly, generously, and joyfully? Well, let's be honest. Money makes many things possible that aren't possible otherwise. Now, some of you may need to go back and dig deep and go back into the 5 Days of You, which is one of our programs, and understand living your best life. What does that mean to you? In other words, you may not need any money. Well, I don't know how you're going to live without any money. You got to have some money to get started to not have money, right? If it's, well, I'm going to go live so and so and so and so, and I'm going to have this. I'm going to just be self-sufficient. Well, how are you going to get there in the first place, right? You got to get there, and then you got to get all set up. So money's going to come into play. You're just not going to walk out the front door and all of a sudden live in this place that just is nirvana for yourself. You got to have money, and money makes many things possible that aren't possible otherwise. So let's look at these questions. Are you really living your absolute best life? Are you the best version of yourself? And are you able to live fearlessly, generously, and joyfully? And what we're talking about here, folks, is financial freedom. It really is. When you talk about money, a lot of you look at it as a noose around your neck. But I'm telling you, financial freedom is really what we're after, because money allows you to expand your horizons. By traveling the world, for instance. I mean, one of the things that Jan and I really, really love doing is just travel. And it's not so much just getting out there. I mean, but meeting people in different cultures and bridging that divide and learning, how they live and what their thoughts are, and really, just sharing your love with other people in this world and seeing all the wonderful sights that are out there. It allows you to deepen friendships. I mean, you can go out to dinner more with your close friends. You can go on trips with your close friends. So in your family, relatives, you can have great family reunions and things and fund these things. Wouldn't it be great just to fund an all-inclusive for the entire family once a year or something, to get together and just be able to just love and have fun and not worry about money? It allows you to support worthy causes. Again, we've been back to this about 6 or 7 times already because it's just so very important. Without money, these things aren't supported. But if you don't have money, can you really expand your full potential? So that's one of the first questions for today. If you don't have money, can you expand into your full potential? And can you be your best self? Well, some of you, again, you're out there and say, yeah, as long as I got a yoga pose, I can be my best self. Yoga pose in the sunset, I'm good, right? Well, okay, you got to be in a place where you can yoga pose in the sunset on the beach all day, right? How are you going to do that without money? So let's think about this. You've got to have financial freedom some way or another. To be clear, I'm not saying that people without money are somehow defective. Absolutely not. That's wrong thinking, and that's not what we're doing. This isn't a session on materialism 101, right? I'm simply saying that money gives you options that you wouldn't have otherwise. So let's be done with the myth. It's time for you to achieve your true greatness. So let's get all these money myths out of your head, because the bottom line is money gives you options. All right, well, let's go through some affirmations. I told you I was going to have one for you today, and I've got this. If you're in our group, they're up in the resources tab. I've got a whole bunch of them. I also have an ebook, hadn't talked about it yet, but the ebook is up there for you as well if you're in the group, and we may be putting that out here towards the end of the program, so hang in there. We might give you a link here in the fourth session. But let's talk about affirmations. And again, for those of you who aren't familiar with them, they're written down. They're all about creative beings, self-improvement, positive thinking, your goals, reprogramming your mind, those types of things. And that's what we want to do, is we want to recreate our world by changing our thoughts. And that's what affirmations do. So let's get over to our first one today, which is a Millionaire Mindset affirmation page here. And we're going to talk about, I'm grateful for money. So let me hop that in here, which I'm trying to do here. I didn't do it right there, but I'm going to do it here and pop it over here. So you got it. There it is for you. All right. I'm grateful for money. I am 100% grateful for money. Money is neutral. And what matters most is what I do with my money. I achieve great good with the wealth I accumulate. I am generous, big-hearted, and ready to help anyone in need. Wealth naturally flows to me, and as a result, I am grateful. I am grateful to my Creator for His abundant graces and generosity. I know that there is abundance in the world, and I choose to receive that abundance. And as we go through, we'll talk about a second affirmation. I refuse to let past beliefs keep me from getting the wealth that I deserve. I reject any myths that I have believed that are unsupportive of my goals. I embrace my natural greatness and attract good things. I make more than enough money. When I make any money, I am filled with gratitude, and I say thank you for even the smallest amounts of money, because gratitude fills me with joy and attracts more good things into my life. Money is a good thing, and I make more than enough. I am a wealth magnet. So there's the first two for you, so you can get through and pull those up, and if you need to, you can make them on, but you get in there and notice, if you're not familiar with affirmations, about the I's. I am, I make, I do. This is part of affirmations, but you can get in here, you can make these your own, and be sure, and so you can go through, you can rewrite those, or you can go up into our group if you're in our group, and you can print them out. So good to go there. Well, that's it for today. In the next session, we're going to look at the power of your mind, and we're going to talk a lot more about having an abundance mindset. So we can continue this on. And again, if you haven't been in our weekly challenge, go back the next couple of weeks into our weekly challenge. It's up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, definitely on Anchor FM when we do our podcast. So go back there and get those. Because we talked about scarcity and abundance the last 2 weeks. But next week, we're going to talk about the power of your mind, having an abundance mindset. But right now, we've got some reflection questions for you. So be sure and review these this week. On a scale of terrible, Charles Barkley, down a scale of terrible to great, how would you rate your relationship with money? So yes, let's look at that one real quick. And what myths about money have you believed that you've never questioned? And then why have you believed these myths? Was it just something that a very important person in your past believed and you just, those were inherited to you? And do you see money as evil? After today's program, do you still see it as evil? And does your belief line up with reality about money? So let's do a Ben Franklin close and let's put belief on one side and reality on the other. And let's write down the reasons we believe it, and then let's write down the realities and see how that shakes out. What do you believe about those who want more money? Has your mindset changed? You still believe that you're just arrogant, greedy son of a guns, or are they great people who are going to do great things with their wealth? And are your beliefs correct? Do you have a scarcity or abundance mindset when it comes to money? So be honest about this with yourself. And how can you tell? Because you're going to be the one in mentoring and coaching. We can get you started and get you rolling, and we're here to confide in and to bounce things off of. But you're going to be in control of your emotions more than we're going to be in control of you controlling your emotions. So you need to know how you can tell, and when you slip out of abundance and slip back into scarcity. So it's very, very important for you to know how you can tell. And then what are some of the good things that you could accomplish if you made more money? And I think that's really kind of the bottom line for you in this session is what are some of the good things? You need to be thinking about the good things that you could accomplish if you made more money. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about, how that Bentley's going to feel, driving down to the food line. But I'm talking about the good things you could accomplish if you made more money. Who could you help? What could you support? Those types of things. What good things could you do if you accomplished and you made more money? Well, all right. Well, that is it for today. Thanks for attending. Have an awesome week as always. I'm gonna leave this up here big so you can kind of see these things right now, and I'll hop back in just a second. But if you want to schedule a one-on-one strategy session with me, hop up to a2bforme.info/15. That's 15 with Don. a2bforme.info/15 with Don. And you can schedule a 15-minute, absolutely complimentary strategy session with me. There are going to be 4 questions that pop up when you make your appointment, and you want to certainly review those and be prepared to discuss those in our first session. If you want to get some other programs that we have, hop up on YouTube and certainly subscribe to that so you can get everything that comes up. We put at least 3 out a week. A to B for me on YouTube. Anchor FM. You can listen to us, so you don't have to you watch all this stuff. You can come back. You'll miss a lot of graphics, but I pretty much just read the slides as we go through here, so you're not going to miss anything if you're listening on Anchor FM. So you can kind of edify what you've seen, and you can do that anytime, right? When you're working out in the car, when you're taking a walk, whatever it is. And of course, we're always on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So check out everything we've got up there. Well, all right. And of course, the whole purpose of us being here is to keep you moving in the direction of your dreams. So let's keep it rolling. We're going to be back next week, obviously, with part 3 of A Millionaire Mindset. And then we're going to be here tomorrow with a great Thrive Thursday with James Clear. So you want to catch that. We try to time into everything. And then, of course, Monday we got the weekly challenge. So if you're not part of the weekly challenge, either, like I said, subscribe to Anchor FM or get on our Facebook page, and be sure that you are able to take on those challenges each and every week. Well, all right, that's it. Again, thanks for attending.